This story happened in a small town in the 1950s. The story was told by my grandmother to my mother. Now my mother told me the story again. At that time, the life of the people in town was very poor. Their ideology was also very backwards. In the village, there was a family surnamed Lu. This family had only one son and one mother. Their life was not difficult, but for some reason, a son got married but couldn't have children. Today, we all know that the reason for no children could be on the husband or the wife. But back then, all responsibility fell on the wife. The daughter-in-law was constantly harassed and tortured by her mother-in-law. Mother-in-law every day saw her daughter-in-law as not pleasing to her eyes. She beat and scolded every little thing and didn't consider her daughter-in-law a person. Because the daughter-in-law couldn't have children, she wanted the daughter-in-law to get a divorce so that her son could get another wife. But rural women at that time never dared to think about divorce. In addition to washing her face with tears, the daughter-in-law could only endure every day. However, the husband was also not a good person. He saw his wife being treated like this, but not only did not know how to comfort her, but also spoke cold words. He listened to his mother and everything followed his mother to mock, punch and brutally abuse his wife. The whole village did not pity the daughter-in-law because the status of a woman at that time was still very low. At that time, my grandmother lived in the same neighborhood as the Liu family. Almost every day my grandmother saw the daughter-in-law's body purple. All were beaten by her mother-in-law and husband. The woman has only been married for a few years, but now her body has deteriorated like that. My grandmother greeted her several times but received no response. My grandmother had a bad premonition in her heart, and she didn't expect it to be the last time my grandmother saw that daughter-in-law, because that night, the daughter-in-law committed suicide by drinking poison. In the morning, when the older woman saw that her annoying daughter-in-law had not woken up, she scolded a few sentences. The older woman did not hear the answer, making her even angrier. But when the older woman opened the door and non-stop cursed, the scene before her eyes made her startled, terrified, and stunned. The daughter-in-law was dead and sprawled on the ground in front of her house. Perhaps the daughter-in-law wanted to go outside the house before she died, but she couldn't because she was heavily poisoned. The frightened older woman thought that her daughter-in-law wanted to haunt her. Witnessing the scary appearance of the daughter-in-law, the older woman in her heart was really scared. From that day on, she didn't know if it was really the soul of the daughter-in-law or not, or because of fear, the woman kept getting sick all the time. Having no choice, the older woman had to invite a shaman from a nearby village to exorcise evil spirits. The older woman remembered and told the shaman about the daughter-in-law who was still alive without children, making her angry all day. The shaman told that as long as the older woman was willing to pay for him, he could solve this problem. After that, he instructed the husband to make a charm to ask for exorcism according to his arrangement, and in 3 days, the shaman would proceed to destroy ghosts. The husband also obeyed. He made 3 long nails and made a big cutting board from an old tree. In the evening, 3 days later, the shaman began to perform the exorcism ritual. The old shaman's method of reassurance used to suppress ghosts and drive away evil spirits was really cruel. The shaman asked her husband to join him and drove large iron nails into the hands of his dead wife. Long iron nails pierced the daughter-in-law's palm and were inserted directly into the thick board. This crucifixion prevented the daughter-in-law's soul from escaping the coffin. A longer iron nail was hammered directly into the daughter-in-law's head, looking very scary. Finally, a heavy cutting board was placed on top of the woman's body so that her soul could never be released again. In this way, a thin wooden coffin was used to place the poor woman's body in it, and it was immediately buried. The daughter-in-law was not placed in the Liu family's ancestral grave, but was buried in an abandoned cemetery to the west of town. After that, the Liu family went around looking for a matchmaker to get a new wife for their son. But finally, the retribution came. After some time, the older woman contracted a strange disease. There was a ringworm on her hand. Not long after, the palm and the back of her hand became sore. In the end, 2 large holes were necrotic, exactly like the nail on the hand of a dead ex-daughter-in-law. She got the pain, itching, and discomfort. The older woman could not stand it anymore, so she gave her son some money and asked him to find a good doctor to visit her home. But the son did not care about the older mother's illness. He took that money to gamble. Usually the older woman managed money so that he couldn't get it. This time, having money was an opportunity for him to run wild. With money in hand, the son continued to plunge into the gambling game. After many times losing to the casino owner, the small amount of money that his mother gave him was quickly exhausted. After dark, he bought some herbs with the rest of the change back home to trick his mother. He even thought that when his mother died, he would be the new owner of the house. But while he was thinking about that, suddenly he tripped and fell down the cliff. He was stabbed through the head by a long tree branch and a large rock pressed on his chest, dying on the spot. He died in a pose like his wife was lying in a coffin made by him. The older woman waited, but did not see her son come back. Her condition got worse. In the end, she died in pain and loneliness.